Okay everyone, Friday's video and Celtic are back tomorrow. Yeehaw! We're playing Hearts tomorrow, looking for 3 more points and one of the 4 victories required for 4 in a row. So it's all very exciting. The international break is over. The derby is a distant memory. It's time to go and win this league. Today I'm going to tell you everything you need to know ahead of tomorrow's game. Very much looking forward to doing that. First of all though, come on you legends, get us to 14,000 subscribers please. We're agonisingly close. So if you're watching this and haven't yet subscribed, please click that button. It takes 2 seconds, something like that, and means the world to me. Okay, agenda for today. Yeah, Celtic being back tomorrow is really the main event. There's not a whole lot else in this video, but there are things to discuss about tomorrow's game. It's been a quiet old international break, hasn't it? It certainly seemed like quite a while since we last saw Celtic in action. To be honest, that 90 minutes seemed quite a while as well, because we were absolutely abysmal in the derby. But yeah, really not too much coming out of Celtic over the past couple of weeks. All we've really had is the club getting a bit of backlash from people online yesterday for using an AI-generated image of Paulo Bernardo for the promotion of his press conference. Yeah, this really didn't go down well. They got a lot of flack for this. People saying that the club should be hiring and paying a graphic designer rather than resorting to AI. I don't have any particular strong feelings, certainly not as strong as some of the people, but I totally get the point. I'm just fearful for the day where AI can replicate a pretty irritating Scottish YouTuber who talks about Celtic and really riles people up. Fearful for that day. But anyway, Stevie will be easy to replace. No, important stuff today. Paulo Bernardo was speaking to the media yesterday, and that does tend to mean that he's available for this weekend. He was actually asked whether he feels ready to play or start the game, and he kind of said, yeah, I do, but also I've been out for a fair amount of time. And I don't think anyone's really expecting to see Bernardo in the starting lineup tomorrow, but just having him around is going to be really important. But interesting, Celtic calling a press conference yesterday. They tend to do the manager and player back-to-back on the Friday, so the fact they had it yesterday had people speculating what was going on, what were the club promoting. My colleague at the Celtic Way, Ryan McGinley, even wondered if it was Dies and Maida signing a contract. Very optimistic, didn't quite happen. No, they had Paulo Bernardo and women's player Colette Kavanagh promoting a very important thing, the Foundation's Paradise Pit Stop, a project where Celtic Park opens its doors to provide a free warm meal and a selection of hot and soft drinks every Monday and Thursday evening. So that's great stuff. In terms of what Bernardo was saying, well, he's been missing for a fair amount of time actually, since going off in the first half of our Scottish Cup win over Wraith Rovers. So if you think about it, he's missed both legs against Bayern Munich. He's missed the derby, he missed our defeat at Easter Road, a few other games as well, where I really think he would have made a difference. And yeah, I do think we've missed him as an option, even if he wasn't necessarily going to start every game. Think about the Allianz Arena, for example, having Bernardo as a sub to come off the bench when their legs were tiring a bit at the end of that second half, I think would have made a difference. So he has been missed. Just on his time out, he says, the injury was bad, but I recovered very well and hopefully I can play from now on. It was bad when I saw the results of the scan because I thought it was a short-term injury and it wasn't. But I had the opportunity to recover well and to work on other things that I couldn't do during the season. I think he also said he's been allowed to focus on other things as well. He goes on a hell of a lot of holidays, Paulo Bernardo, even more than me. I think someone said, was he in Paris or something? Don't quote me on that, but he was certainly away somewhere recently. But he seems pretty eager to get back in and started, and also to feature properly alongside Jota, his compatriot. He said, I'm looking forward to playing with everyone, but yes, Jota, it's nice to have him here with me. I speak a lot with him, so I think we are a good double. I spoke with him after he re-signed, but not before. I think he was really excited to be here again. So yeah, I just feel like our midfield's lost a bit of its zip in recent weeks. And maybe part of that comes from the players who have been in there just knowing they're going to start game to game. And I just think someone like Bernardo coming in and providing a bit of competition and maybe just adding a bit of energy to that midfield will be really important in the closing weeks of the season. I remember this time last year, Bernardo coming on quite strong as we went for the league title. I remember he scored a goal at Livingston. He had that pass at Ibrox for Adamida as well. So I'm hopeful that Bernardo can come in and really stake a claim to be that first choice midfielder and really just get that midfield zipping again. So that was yesterday. Today we'll hear from Brendan Rodgers. I guess he's going to have a fair bit to cover given that we've not heard from him since before the derby. So there'll probably be a bit of reaction to the derby, even though that game was now the best part of 2 weeks ago. Clearly the injury update is going to take him a fair amount of time to get through. We're going to need an update on Kasper Schmeichel. Still the question of whether Kasper Schmeichel features this weekend. Certainly Denmark manager Brian Riemer doesn't think that's likely at all. He basically ruled Schmeichel out of this weekend's game, which was good of him to do. So it's going to be over to Voljami Sinizalo, so expect a bit of chat on Sinizalo in today's press conference. We're also going to be awaiting an update on Callum McGregor and Austin Trusty. I think if you're wondering about those two, the feeling certainly is that both should be fine for the game tomorrow. I think they were both really close to playing in the derby, but just didn't quite make it. They both get the same issue actually with their calf. So it seems like a couple of weeks down the line, neither of them obviously away in international duty or anything like that, that they would both be in the starting lineup for tomorrow's game. Liam Scales too, expect him to be ruled out for a couple of weeks. I think he's had surgery during the international break on his jaw, I think. So that's going to be confirmed as well, you would think. And maybe James Forrest as well. Find out a bit more about him, but we're expecting him in the matchday squad, I think, as well. So yeah, before we get that full picture, this is the predicted 11 that I'm going for tomorrow's game. So Sinizalo in between the sticks. I think in front of Sinizalo, it's important to keep it as settled as possible. I have heard a kind of growing feeling that maybe Greg Taylor should come in for tomorrow's game, just because I guess he has more experience, but I think Schlupp's an upgrade on Greg Taylor. I think he's a better player who offers us more. So no doubt in my mind that Schlupp should start at left back. Trusty, Carter Vickers in the centre. Alistair Johnson hopefully has switched with that body double who was impersonating him in the recent derby, and he can get back to doing what he does best on the right hand side. Midfield, I'm going, unsurprisingly, McGregor, Hatate, Engels. Ideally you've got McCown and Bernardo on the bench. Left wing, Jota. Through the middle, Diaz and Maida, despite being on international duty. I just think Maida's too good not to have in our team at the moment, even if he is literally just back from Glasgow Airport and straight to Celtic Park, which he shouldn't be. It doesn't take 3 days to get back from Japan, but definitely get him in the team. And the international stuff might come into it with Hyun-Jun Yang, and I kind of feel like Nicholas Kuhn will probably start on the right. But if I was the manager of Celtic, scary thought, I would go Hyun-Jun Yang tomorrow, because I just think he's looked really good recently. Even in the derby when he came on, I thought he was direct. Nicholas Kuhn's been off it for a while, so why not just try and get a little reaction out of Kuhn by starting Yang and saying, look, you've been great for the majority of this season, Nicholas, but your place right now isn't guaranteed anymore. So that's what I would do there. But yeah, options for the manager. Their players returning as well, which is a good thing. As I said earlier in the week, by the way, we kind of quirk of the fixture scheduling is that this is the third time we've played Hearts this season, and all 3 matches have come directly after international break. So we had one at the start of the season at Celtic Park, I think after the first break of the season, when Engels came in, made his first start for the club, scored the penalty. Remember, was it Craig Halkett and Lawrence Shankland shouting at him, wasting money, 11 million, aye right, all of that stuff, and then he tucked the penalty away, no bother at all. So that was the first game, finished 2-0, 0-0 at half-time. Second game, which was I think after the third international break, was at Tynecastle. Again 0-0 at half-time. They'd been pretty good in the first half there. We came on strong in the second half. I think Kyogo scored, Ida scored. Maybe he just scored a couple, I can't quite remember. But it was a really good night, that Saturday night in Gorgie. So yeah, I guess this time round you want to see a really strong first half display from Celtic. I think that's what we're all looking out for in this game, is right from the start to see a reaction from the team, and you want to feel like the team have been hurting a bit over the past couple of weeks, because certainly for us as supporters, as much as we're still 13 points clear of our rivals and looking good for the treble, etc., losing the derby in that fashion to such a weak performance on our own turf against Rangers really does stay with you for certainly a few days. I'm kind of over it now, but I don't know, you might still be pretty annoyed by that, and certainly wanting to see a reaction from the team tomorrow. So hopefully the team have been hurting, and hopefully we get that reaction. It's not necessarily going to be easy against Hearts. They'll come and make it difficult for us. They're in pretty good form. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. Neil Critchley, who came in mid-season for Stephen Naismith, has improved their fortunes. They've still got an outside chance of getting third spot, which would be incredible this season. So, decent enough team, but I think at Celtic Park this season, where apart from the derby we've been incredibly strong, you always just feel that if Celtic turn up with the right attitude, fast, aggressive football, then we'll be far too strong for teams like Hearts. So let's hope it plays out that way. Official wise, tomorrow the referee is Kevin Clancy. He'll be assisted by Ross McLeod, or Cloudy as he was known, who was the... I was going to say he was the linesman that ruled out or ruled in the disallowed goal that we had at Easter Road. But I think he was actually the assistant VAR who initially put up a strong fight, but was in... you don't care about this. Anyway, he's assisted by David Room. VAR is Greg Aitken. Assistant VAR is Chris Ray. And yeah, that's kind of it, everyone. There's not really too much else to discuss today. It's all just about tomorrow and Celtic getting back in and back on track and kind of settling everyone down, I think, a little bit. I mean, we've even had comments during the international break. You know who you are. Even a little bit worried about whether the league title is in some sort of doubt. And that's fair enough. We all have certain worries about things, and the derby was bad on Sunday, but it's up to the team to show that they've still got it to come back and really finish this season strongly. It's been a really good campaign so far. I think we've all loved watching Celtic at times this season. It would just be great if we could finish the season like we started it, because I think if you finish, it's kind of a lot of the time how you finish the season is how you remember it. And like last season was a poor season generally, but we finished it so strongly and it was remembered really fondly, obviously because we won the league and the Scottish Cup, but also some of the football we played in the closing stages of the campaign. So that's the opportunity for the team this year as well, to really back up all of the good work they've done so far this season, get back at it tomorrow. Imagine we go and batter Hearts 4 or 5-0, how good everyone's going to be feeling going into the rest of the season. So over to Celtic. I'm looking forward to it. I think Celtic Park's going to be packed tomorrow, given that we've not had a glimpse of the team in a couple of weeks, and it's always a big one at home to Hearts. So enjoy it if you're going. If, like me, you're watching elsewhere around the world, do your best to enjoy it. I will return with friend or friends first thing on Sunday morning, so chat to you then.